What's up, Air Legends? It's Baby Snake. Thought I'd make a kind of experimental video. I'm just gonna go through this guide that me and DB wrote and just narrate it. And maybe some people like this. I think some people prefer listening to somebody talk than read. I don't know. It's 5 pages, so hopefully this doesn't take too long. Getting right into it, this is for Sagittarius Cup. This is CM8. This is the Nakayama Turf 2,500 meter long clockwise, which is right-handed, firm, winter, sunny course. This is the Arima Keenan. It's going to be sunny and firm on the Arima Keenan, right-handed. The secret stats for this will be stamina and guts. Below we have the thresholds here. This is what we are recommending to people. We're recommending 1200 speed, of course. For stamina, we're recommending 901 stamina for late and end, and 950 stamina for front and pace. In general, additional gold recovery skills should be worth approximately 250 stamina. We are suggesting 900 power for everybody. This is honestly very flexible, and this is probably going to be one of your more flexible stats. Have this go up and down as you need. Guts, we put 500 because it seems to work the best with the stamina and should be reasonable to get for anybody doing this because you should be taking a couple of stamina trainings, we assume. Wit 600 is my preferred wit level, of which you will get 85% chance of a skill activating in a race. I think this is very good. More is great. There is a large downhill that we will talk about later. So wit is flexible, power is flexible, stamina is not flexible, speed is not flexible, and guts is guts. I don't care what you do with your guts, just make sure you have enough HP to finish the race. So compared to previous cups, the CMs were CM2 and CM6, the Gemini Cup and Libra Cup. We are experiencing a fairly different course here, based on where the late race starts in relation to corners and straights. So Sagittarius is much shorter. Gemini was 3,200 meters famously. Libra was 3,000 meters. This is a whole 500 meters shorter than Libra. The position of the late race makes corner acceleration skills viable because while the corner is a little late into it, it appears about 1/6 into the beginning of late race. This means that if something happens there, you are still about a third into your acceleration phase. So things that activate on a corner in late race are good. This does not mean that things that activate on final corner are good. And we'll talk about that more later when we look at the layout of the track. There is a significant downhill which rewards higher wit. When you get on a downhill, there is a percentage chance based on your wit. You get an additional 4% chance to activate this state for every 100 wit you have every second. And you will get increased speed and you will get decreased stamina usage. It is very powerful, and so getting higher wit is advisable. I still think 600 is a very good point, though. I don't think that you need more. If you get more, though, it's nice. What matters course-wise? So this is the course, and this is kind of hard to see, so here it is a little bit larger. Although this might be hard to see, too, because we got a bunch of damn things all over it. So let's try to get some of these things out of here. What we're going to be seeing here is that the final corner begins after the acceleration phase. So if a skill requires to be activated on final corner, it will not activate. We can see that here, right? This is a just regular Uma that has no skills. We're actually going to take off Vanguard Spirit there. Has no skills. And we can see that she is done with her acceleration at about 1,900 meters, about 50 meters short of the beginning of last corner. So any skill that says final corner and acceleration is going to be completely useless. There's no way for it to be useful. The final straight begins with 300 meters left. So anything that says final straight you can know that it's going to activate in that last 300 meters. And so it's going to be similar to a Triumphant Pulse. We were talking about somebody like King Halo's unique activates kind of around here and makes it comparable to a Triumphant Pulse. I think that's just a nice kind of conceptualization. Late race begins 1.5 seconds of straight, and then it's corners. Sorry, the late race begins with 1.5 seconds of straight and then goes into corners. So we see here, if we can just get these out of here for a little bit, we'll talk about Ogre Cap later. We can see here, the straight is just here for just a second, for 1.5 seconds. And then after that, it goes into a corner. So this means that if you have a skill that activates on a straight in the late race, it can activate here, which is useful. It also means that if you have a skill that can activate on a corner in late race, it can activate here. And this also means that if something activates on a corner, it's going to lag by about 1.5 seconds compared to something that activates at late race. For example, something like Encroaching Shadow versus Let's Pump Some Iron. You see this? Why did that go away? Let's go ahead and skill check here. You see, okay, well, they're going away. But you can see here, Encroaching Shadow, Let's Pump Some Iron activates here, about halfway into Encroaching Shadow. So these are some things to consider, right? 400 meters of moderate downhill during mid-race after position keep phase. And if you don't know what position keeping is, there's a whole video that Victoria Frontier has about it. But effectively, it means that a downhill being after position keeping means it's actually really useful for getting ahead, because your Uma will get speed and she will try to pass people, which is useful. So for Ogre Cap, Christmas Ogre, and 777, the 777 distance is 1,723 meters, which is about 3 seconds after the start of late race. And it's in the corner here. It's actually basically right at the end of Encroaching Shadow, of Straightaway Spurt. So if you go for an End Ogre, there is a good chance that if you're going for the 777 build of Christmas Ogre Cap, that you will have Straightaway Spurt activate, followed by her unique, and keep that speed up and that acceleration up the whole time. So we got a tier list here. I'm sorry if this is a little bit small. I wonder if I can increase the size of this. Yeah, that's nice. All right. So we have a tier list. This was made by me and DB through consensus. And this does not mean that this is necessarily true. This is based off our ideas and our thoughts and our experience and expertise. And this is therefore almost certainly wrong, because God knows we've had a lot of bad takes. But this is what we're saying. And this should be 80% truth. Okay? And placement left to right does not matter. We are not saying that Summer Marzensky is better than Gold City. Honestly, Gold City is probably the best Uma in the entire game. She will probably win every single race she's in. I expect to see probably about 1,000 to 1,000,000 100% victory rate Gold Cities. But other than that, the S tier here, we are actually going to talk about in a moment about why they are in here. But these are the 5 that you probably want to have at least one of them. You could also build 3 Umas from this list and probably do okay. In the A tier, this is mostly Umas that have a good acceleration or a good speed carryover or something going on for them. But they just kind of miss out on having that killer power and consistency that these first ones do. End is strong here because Encroaching Shadow is one of the few skills that's going to be able to activate at the beginning of late race and get that 1.5 second additional early start on everybody else. Everybody else is going to have to wait just a little bit. In B tier, we have a lot of Umas that are just excellent and you can never really count out. They have some good skills. They should do well. I mean, if I need to tell you that Symboli Rudolph is somebody that you cannot ignore, I don't know what to tell you. In C tier, I don't know why DB put these in here, but here they are. And then we have Rabbit. This is just like, what are we going to do? It's Silent Suzuka. She's the only Great Escape currently, and I think Great Escape could be really funny here. We have a section where we're going to talk about some of that later. So scrolling down, I have a text version of these here. I put this in because like I don't know if anybody in like the club uses like a screen reader or something or is like hard of seeing. So I thought it'd be good to have like a text version. I don't know. Yeah, so the above tier list is uh basically Umas that have a meaningful advantage. Each of these Umas has something that makes them slightly better than if an Uma had nothing, right? If it's like, on Kachi Dev, you have this Uma that literally has no unique. These are Umas where their uniques and builds have something slightly better than having nothing. But ultimately, an Uma that has nothing can absolutely win. So, um, if your favorite Uma is not on this list, this does not mean that you cannot build her or that she cannot win. It just means you're going to be relying more on generic skills and you're going to be relying more on stats, right? You're going to be looking more to have high stats that can win and using a lot of just mid race and good uh, skills that are available to everybody, right? 4,300 stat total Aishin Flash with a lot of good skills and stuff like Let's Pump Some Iron and Dober Unique will be able to beat a poorly built gold ship a lot, right? So, this is what we see in every single long CM is that stats are ultimately king. So if you have an Uma that you really want to build, go for it, okay? Um, I do think that you probably want to bring one of these Umas along, especially from the S tier. Just just stat pad a little bit, just something to give you some free wins, okay? But you do you, ultimately. It's CM, it's for fun. Who cares about CM? This is all just for good fun. So, we're going to talk about why these five are in S tier and kind of the advantages they have. So, first off, Gold Ship. Gold Ship is just eternally good in long CMs. Her unique is extremely consistent. It is basically impossible not to activate if you go look at the activation requirements. She will literally always activate if she is an end closer. And honestly, in the rare occasions that she is not activated, it means that she is like in fourth place at halfway through the race as an end closer. More than likely, that means that Gold Ship is probably winning this race. Okay? Like, you don't need to worry. Her growth is good. I think it's good. And she has 4A aptitudes. If you don't know why I talk about A aptitudes so much, the idea is that when you get a Unity explosion, it checks your A aptitudes and it gives you a skill from one of those pools. So the less A aptitudes we have, the easier it is to hit skills in that. That means that Gold Ship, I don't think that you get skills for Turf A, so it's just medium, long, and end. This means that she has a 2/3 chance of getting a skill that's relevant for this CM. It means that there's a 66% chance she'll get a long skill or an end skill, and a 33% chance she gets a medium skill. This is good. This is good. The higher that chance, the easier it is to get random crap like straightaway spurt and end closer corner and all those good things. She has a built-in gold recovery, which is very consistent on this track. And this makes it a lot easier to build her because you don't have to bring any other recovery cards. You don't have to think about anything else. You can just take her unique or her potential level 5, I think it is, gold recovery skill, and be good. She also has built-in Uma stand, which is very powerful. Nuria Taishin, eternally good in long CMs, just like Gold Ship, but for a different reason. She is not the same consistency monster that Gold Ship is. Gold Ship can always win a race. It is very scary to go against a Gold Ship because sometimes it just goes. Nuria Taishin, her unique tends to activate later, and it tends to be more of a finisher. And her power comes from having great aptitudes, having speed growth, having a good kit, and having access to the gold version of Straightaway Spurt. Okay? She has built-in Encroaching Shadow, which is an absolute monster and is literally the single best skill in this entire CM. It alone carries her most of the time. She does have a built-in gold recovery, which is very consistent, very good. It's great, right? Her 10% growth rate is great. Her 4As are great. Okay? Tamamo Cross. This is going to be an Uma that comes out, I think it's like a week before the CM begins. You should have enough time to build a decent Tamamo Cross. Her unique is better than Gold Ships, but slightly less consistent. Just a little bit. She needs to be in like 7th place, which is not too hard for an end closer, but you will see sometimes that it doesn't go the way that you want it to. And it sometimes activates a little bit later, which you don't want it to. Gold ship is always going to get a nice position. Tomo Cross tends to get a very good position. And importantly, Tomo Cross's unique activating just a little bit later and not consistently activating halfway through means that she does have a chance of getting a speed carryover, which is very powerful. It makes her unique better overall. I will say it's not like, 100% better. It is not a just, complete upgrade. It is not functionally the same. It is slightly different. It is better, but I do want to say that don't be surprised if you have 1 or 2 races where Tomo Cross doesn't activate her unique. She has the exact same growth as Gold Ship, which is nice. I think she has more A's though. I tried to keep it to like just things that like were positives for them, but now that I'm going back, I feel like I should probably add like what they have as negatives compared to the others. Yeah, she's got like 6 A's. Okay, so that means that she only has a 40% chance of getting what we want, which is 26% less. So that kind of sucks. She has she has a gold version of Tail Held High, which is pretty cool. Like, that's really nice. And she has Straightaway Spurt. She has built-in Straightaway Spurt. Not the gold version. She doesn't have Encroaching Shadow, but Gold Ship not having Straightaway Spurt is one of the parts that makes Gold Ship hard to build. It is a very sad part of Gold Ship's kit, although she'd be kind of broken if she had Straightaway Spurt. She would just have everything at that point. This gold version of Tail Held High is nice simply because it's a mid-race skill and makes up for the occasional times that she will have a hard time activating her unique, right? If she's in 9th place and is struggling to get out of 9th or 8th, this should help her get up to 7th there. Okay. Christmas Ogre recap. The greatest goat of all time, man. I mean, she's like the prototypical powerful Uma, right? I mean, right now she's not what she will be in the future, but once we get past Mant, she ends up just being a complete dominating powerhouse, unless we see some kind of change occur, like if we get evolution skills early. But for right now, Ogre Cap is very strong. She has a very powerful and consistent unique that wins races. Now, I actually have a whole video talking about her unique and how we recommend that you build her, and we'll talk about it briefly here. There's a lot to say about Christmas Ogre Cap, but just know this unique is one of the best in the entire game and puts her in a near league of her own. She has 15% speed and 15 stamina, which is literally the perfect growth rates for this race. I mean, 15 speed, 15 wit would make her better overall, but for this race, actually, this is like almost perfect. Built-in innate experience is very good. Built-in Winter Runner is very good. Sand Sky. This is like the best front runner and kind of the optimal front runner and maybe even the only front runner. 10% stamina, 20% wit is great, honestly. You want a lot of wit on your Sand Sky. She has 4 A's, which is good. Her unique Angling and Scheming will win races. You should almost certainly run unopposed, which is actually a negative. We do want some spot struggle, so it's great if we can go against another front runner. But her unique wins races. I think we've all seen Angling and Scheming pop off. The Mayano Top Gun Speed SSR gives access to Restless, which is why Sand Sky is on here now, when she was not before. I talk about it a little bit more down below, but basically Sand Sky just, that lack of a recovery skill, a gold recovery skill before, really hurt her in these previous long races. So having this Mayano Top Gun Speed SSR really, really helps. And she has built-in Vanguard, Spirit, and Escape Artist, which are amazing skills and will help you win. She has a great kit, and I think that if you build Sand Sky, you are going to win a lot of races unopposed. This section is DB's Skill Emporium. Now, as you can see, DB was supposed to complete this, and he promised no later than January 9th, 2026, per himself, which is definitely authentic. He definitely said this. And it's, oh no, dear viewer, it is January 10th, 2026. What happened? What happened? What did poor DB do? Wow, what a villain. I mean, I don't say this very often. I really try to keep things professional, but DB is what we would call in the business a villain, a demonic bastard. I think is what DB stands for. Wow, just awful, just awful, terrible guy. So mean, and he's mean to me too, which I usually take on the chin as the bigger man, as a valiant, patient, kind soul. But wow, DB didn't do this. That's insane. Wow, I'm so sad. Anyway, yeah, so this section will be updated later. I don't know when particularly, and honestly, you could probably just go look at the CM6 document that DB made where he already did this and kind of get it. All right, so team compositions and meta. As far as it goes, I don't know. I just really don't know yet. I have some ideas. I'm going to present these ideas to you. I don't want to tell you that these are definitely correct. I think it's probably best to just build some strong aces and just hope for the best. I don't think that there's too much like strategy involved. You know, I don't describe to things like the triangle and double dominator and all that crap. I just build aces. Okay, I build aces and they do their thing almost independent of each other usually. It's hard to say what will happen. We do not know what other people are planning to build. Victoria Frontier has not released his CM8 guide. I would really encourage you to watch the CM8 guide that Victoria Frontier eventually releases because that will influence people a lot. If he told people in there to build triple end, the number of people running triple end will go up by 10,000 people. So you have to take into account these kind of things because they will change the expectations. For right now, I'm expecting a lot of ends. I'm expecting a small amount of lates. I'm expecting a decent amount of pacers, and I'm expecting few fronts. My recommendations, Victoria Frontier has the triangle, the Bermuda Triangle. I have the everything bangle. Just good Umas, man. Just build good Umas and put them in good positions. It'll be fine. Build like an end closer, a pacer, a front. Build a end closer, a late, a pacer. I really don't care. Dude, if you have 3 lates, that's fine. If that's the Umas that you're going to be bringing in, those are strong Umas. Whatever, right? I think some specific forms that I think will be better are going to be double end plus front. I think you choose 2 end closers like End Oguri Cap, Tom Mo Cross, and Sand Sky, or however. The idea there, I think, is just that Sand Sky occasionally will just win the race before it even starts. And she will pull so far ahead that the race is over before it even starts. Nobody will be able to catch up to her, and maybe it'll just work out, especially if there's a second person that brings in a front runner. I do think that there is DB got mad at me on this, okay? But I wrote this guide, so I get to put it in here. I said double front plus end, because if you run like a Summer Marzensky and a Sand Sky, your Sand Sky is going to get even more spacing, and maybe you can just run away with it. I don't know. Sand Sky's pretty good, dude. Other than that, like triple end or any combination of double end plus some other style. End closers is really good. Straightaway spurt's very good. And everybody else is going to have a hard time positioning. Late surgers are going to have a hard time positioning for Majiro, Ryan, and Dober's uniques. So my personal recommendation is just build good Umas. And like, if it happens to be something like this, that's great. Maybe we can have some better recommendations to you in the future. But for right now, build good Umas. That's the best thing you can always do in Umasume. Be in front of your opponent and win the race. So there's some Umas that have some special considerations, and we're going to talk about them here. Oguri Cap. We are suggesting at this time end closer Christmas Oguri Cap. This is, to be fair, a slightly more advanced and difficult build for Oguri Cap, but it is a very good one. Now, if you are struggling to hit these stack caps, or you don't have the cards, or you don't have the parents, or you just don't want to, Pace Chaser is definitely another option, and, is still very powerful. We just think that End Closer will have more benefits that outweigh those additional costs. Now, Victoria Frontier posted a video called Why Your Christmas Oguri is Still Weak and How to Fix Her. DB and I mostly agree with the above video, right? We mostly agree with that video. There is one specific point in the video that we disagree with, which is that he makes a mention of 777 being an ineffective recovery skill because it's a late race recovery skill. And he describes how you're basically wasting 5% recovery. Well, unless I'm missing something, I don't think I am, because I have successfully utilized late recovery skills many times before, and including in team trials, which is something I am pretty good at. With the guts update, those recoveries do count, and as long as you get those recoveries in before you have finished accelerating, you will literally never notice a drop off in speed, because the drop off in speed is to their top speed, not to their acceleration. They accelerate at the same rate regardless of what their stamina is, to my understanding. To my understanding, I could be wrong. Victoria Frontier is obviously a very intelligent person, has a great community of people who are very passionate and intelligent, and have every other number in this entire video is completely accurate. But me and DB think that he's missed a little something here, and I think has caused him to undervalue going for a late activation of 777. I am personally advocating that you go for this late activation of 777 in addition to a speed carryover. The speed carryover will win you races tremendously, and the later activation will be a consistent, competitive run. If you get a speed carryover, you should probably win like 90% of those. If you get a late activation, I think you have like a 60% chance. I think it's still really good. Okay. So we're gonna recommend that you pick 3 of the following recoveries for pace or ebb, whichever. Look at the different options here. Choose 3 of these plus 777. I have a video where I talk about this a little bit. I don't go into super depth. I can go into depth about why we're doing exactly this, but basically it's going to give us a 60% chance of getting the outcome that we want. We will have a 60% chance of either getting a powerful late activation, where it is the 3rd strongest unique in the game, or a powerful speed carryover 33% of the time, which is will just win us the game. Will just completely win us the game. It's the strongest. 27% chance that we get the good late, 33% chance that we get the optimal mid race, which is 60%. It's good. So choose 3 of these. Choose 3 of these if you're end. Get 777. Do not get corner recovery. Do not get swinging maestro. They have to be mid-race skills or straight skills, and that's it. We recommend that you get the white version, preferably. If you wanted to get the blue version because you want to run, or sorry, the gold version because you want to run lower stamina, I guess that's fine. But like, how hard is it to build stamina? And you also get increased speed off of it, right? You get that increased secret stat bonus. But you do you. You do what you want to do. You're going to hear to the end of the video, just 2 more parts here. Sand Sky. So Sand Sky was no good in CM6. However, the final late corner is now only 1.5 seconds into the late race compared to the 5 seconds it was in CM6. So now Ang Lee's team is actually completely useful. In addition to this, it's a shorter distance, so we don't need as much stamina. And we can now get a really strong gold recovery skill for frontrunners off the Myono Top Gun Speed SSR. So this completely fixes all the issues that Sand Sky was having before in long races. She is now 100% perfectly viable for long races below like 3,200 meters, right? Even on a 3,000, she should be viable now. Silent Suzuka, she has an F in long, dude. She has an F aptitude in long. You're going to put all this damn work into Silent Suzuka, and she ain't going to win anyway. She'll run completely unopposed. If you get another Silent Suzuka in your lobby and you're running Silent Suzuka, that's like a 1 in like 200 chance, dude. And both your Suzukas are going to die. And it's going to be really funny. I cannot recommend her at all because Great Escapes want to spot struggle, actually. They want to spot struggle to win. it's not advisable. If you do it, it might do something really funny. I think what a great escape tends to do is it tends to kind of open up the pack a little bit. So it could do some really funny things to your end closers. And if you have a really high wit end closer, it might just give the race to them because they might just be able to stretch ahead. I really don't know. I wouldn't touch it, man. I wouldn't touch it. You're gonna be sitting there from F to A. You can only get her up to like a B aptitude. So now you have to get the like 50% chance of getting A. Okay? And now you have a run. So half your runs die, and then the other half weren't worth it anyway. I guess you could go with B. You could probably just go with B aptitude on her because she's not trying to win anyway. Like she's just trying to get ahead and do silly stuff. I don't see why you do it, but if you want to, go ahead. I even include stat thresholds for it. I don't recommend it though, but I did include it. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, let me know. I can narrate more of these guys in the future. I imagine that this is probably not going to be watched by too many of you, and it's probably just something to listen to in the background. But hope you found this useful. Have a good day.